Welcome. In the last session, I discussed about taxonomical hierarchy. In this session, I'm going to discuss about taxonomical aids. So let's see about taxonomical aids. So here, what are these taxonomical aids? So all those methods and techniques that we use for identifying and classifying the organisms. So who help in identification and classification of organisms are all called taxonomical aids. So these are various methods and techniques. So various methods and techniques that are used for identification and classification of organisms. Right now, what are all those taxonomical aids? They are herbarium sheets, then botanical gardens, and then museums, okay, and then geological parks, and then lastly keys. So I'm going to discuss each of these in detail. So each one of it is a taxonomical aid that will help in identifying and classifying the organism. So a unknown organism, so we can identify it, and then later we will be able to even classify that organism. So let's see, first one, herbarium. So this herbarium is a storehouse of plant specimens. It is a storehouse of plant specimens. So we don't find any living plant here in herbarium. So all will be dead, okay. So they will be dried and then pressed, and they will be preserved on thick sheet of paper. So there will be a thick sheet of paper whose measurements may be 42 into 29 centimeters. So this is 42 centimeters, and this is 29 centimeters, and this is a herbarium sheet on which I'm going to preserve a plant. Okay, so here, so this is a thick sheet of paper. So it's a thick sheet of paper. So with these measurements you see here, so this is a herbarium sheet, and once we collect a part of the plant, usually the part of the plant should have few leaves. So it should have few leaves, and then it should have flowers, should have some flowers. Okay, so here I have taken a twig. So this twig is pressed. Okay, so this is pressed, okay, of course, by keeping them in between. So in some cases they will use any kind of material, absorbent material, like in newspapers. So they're going to take a lot of newspapers and put this specimen in between here, and then again put some more newspapers, and then put weight on this. Have to put weight. So this will get pressed, and at the same time, so these papers will be acting as an absorbent material. So they even absorb the moisture and whatever, and after a few days this will get dried. So this so after a few days it will be pressed and dried. So this one, which is pressed and dried, and of course, which means there is no moisture in this case, now it is placed here. Okay, so here, so it is placed here, right, and then it is fixed on this herbarium sheet with the help of an adhesive cellophane. So with the help of an adhesive cellophane. Okay, And in the corner, so we'll have some information. So there will be some information which you need to write here on this herbarium sheet. So there will be like a name of collector, so it means that who collected that plant specimen. So that's one thing here. And then date of collection, so on what date they have collected this, right? So that should be present, right? And place of collection, so place of collection, okay. And if they identify the plant, the name of the plant, okay, or even the local name of the plant, like this, there will be several details. So all that will be included in this section, right? So this is what we call it a herbarium sheet. So it's a herbarium sheet. So they are going to make such herbaria a lot many. So many herbaria will be made, and then they will be stored in almirahs. And these herbaria, they act as a quick referral system for taxonomic studies. So these are quick referral system for taxonomic studies. So they are quick referral for taxonomic studies. Okay. So here we see there are the largest herbaria in the world. So the largest herbarium in the world. So this largest herbarium in the world is located in London, Q. Okay. So its name is Royal Botanical Garden. So this Royal Botanical Garden is located at Kew, and that is located in London. So this is the world's largest herbarium. Then coming to India, so in case of India, the largest herbarium in India. So here the largest herbarium in the India is the Indian Botanical Gardens. So it is Indian Botanical Gardens. So this is located at Shibpur, Kolkata. It is located at Shibpur, Kolkata. Right. So the largest herbarium in the world, that is located in Royal Botanical Garden, whereas the largest herbarium in India, it is located in Indian Botanical Garden, Shibpur, Kolkata. So that's about the herbaria. Then next we'll see about the botanical gardens. So here these botanical gardens will include the live organisms, so that is live plants. So this is a collection of live plants. So earlier in herbaria, so there is no life, so all those are dead plants or parts of the plant which will be preserved. So in this case, botanical gardens, this will be comprising of a large area, so usually in acres. So the land will be in acres, and this area will be having collection of plants. And for the purpose of reference, so for referring the plants, so we collect different plants from different areas and allow them to grow in that botanical garden. Okay, and these will help for identification purposes. And So they help in identification. So the botanical gardens will help in identification of organisms, plants. Now whatever that plants they grow in the botanical gardens, okay, so say suppose there is a big tree. So what they are going to do, they are going to put a plate on this, okay, tree trunk. So this plate will have the scientific name, so it will carry the scientific name and also the family to which it belongs on this, okay, plate. So this plate will be having information like this. So every plant, okay, of course if they are small plants like herbs, so in that case they will put placards, okay, so which will help them to identify the plant, so the plant species, right? So scientific name and family name are usually written on those, okay, boards. So that's about the botanical gardens here. And the largest botanical garden in the world, so largest botanical garden in the world, so this is Royal Botanical Gardens. So Royal Botanical Gardens, that is located, okay, in Kew, London, located in Kew, London. Okay, coming to India, same. So this largest botanical garden in the world has largest herbarium. So similarly here in India, the largest botanical garden in India is the Botanical Gardens of India. So those botanical gardens, okay, so this Botanical Garden of India, that is which I have already told, so that is Indian Botanical Garden. So this Indian Botanical Garden, that is located in Shibpur, Kolkata. Okay, right. And one more we have, this is also a bigger one. Okay, so there are many gardens, even including in Bangalore also there is okay, Lal Bagh Botanical Gardens. That is also a big botanical garden. So and one more botanical garden, so that is a National Botanical Garden. So National Botanical Garden, so this is located in Lucknow. National Botanical Garden is located in Lucknow. Okay, so these two are important, the largest in the world and in India. So they also have largest herbaria collections. So the largest herbaria in the world is there in the Royal Botanical Gardens. Okay, so this largest botanical garden in India, now it's been called Acharya Jagdish Chandra Bose, okay, Indian Botanical Garden. So they have named it so Acharya. So they have named with this Acharya Jagdish Chandra Bose. So Acharya Jagdish Chandra Bose Indian Botanical Garden. Now they are calling with this name Acharya Jagdish Chandra Bose Indian Botanical Garden, or you can simply call it with the Indian Botanical Garden. Right, so that's all about botanical gardens. So the next one we'll see about museums. Okay, so these museums are collections of, so it contains a collection of specimens. So it's a collection of specimens, right? And usually these are animals. So it's a collection of animal specimens. So these animal specimens are kept in jars. So they will be kept in jars or containers. Okay, so this is an container. Okay, so as a jar, and this is filled with preservative. So it's filled, okay, with preservative, and this preservative is usually formaldehyde. Okay, or the formalin, so that is mixed with the water. Okay, so 10% formalin also they can use, right? And here they are going to keep the animals. Of course, I'll include even plants also. It's a collection of animal and plant specimens. So collection of animal and plant specimens. So they are going to place, okay, those plants or animals inside the containers or jars, and then they are filled with the preservative solutions. Okay, and that preservative solution is usually the formaldehyde or formalin. And these museums we can set up in schools and colleges. Can set up in schools and colleges. Okay, and here different animals are preserved in different way. Like for example, insects. So these insects will be having external skeleton. So right, and once the insect dies, the internal tissues will get decomposed, leaving behind the external, that is skeleton, that is exoskeleton. So hence these insects will be, okay, pinned. So here on a board, okay, so with the help of special, okay, pins, so what they are going to do, they are going to place that insect and then pin it. Okay, so here once the insect is died, so right, it will be pinned in this way. Okay, so you can see different insects. Okay, so right, pinned in this way, right? So you will find so many insects all over this board. So in case of insects, they are going to pin, right? So here this is a pinned insect, right? And then coming to the larger animals like reptiles, birds, mammals. So what they are going to do, so in this case of these reptiles, birds and mammals, so they are going to do stuffing. So what they do, they remove the skin, and then later they are going to remove the all internal, of course, I mean only the skin they are going to remove, and then that inside the skin they are going to stuff it with cotton. So usually the stuffing material is cotton. So stuffing is a process how they preserve these reptiles, birds and mammals. So here cotton is a stuffing material. So they are going to remove the skin, and so this skin into that, okay, so they are going to stuff it with this cotton, and then make to look as it is like an original or a living animal. Okay, right? And they are going to add preservatives onto the skin, so that the skin doesn't get damaged for a very long time, and it is preserved for a very long time. So that is how they are going to do with these reptiles, birds and mammals, right? And not always we like to keep those animals and plants in preservatives. You can also store these animal and plant specimens, okay, in dried condition. So in dried condition also we can store them. right? And even the museums will collect the skeletons. So they have a collection of, so museums also have collection of skeletons. So they also have collection of skeletons. Okay, right. So that's about the museums, so which will be set up in, okay, schools and colleges. Of course, there are nowadays dedicated buildings for only the museums here. Okay, and in those museums different plants and animals will be preserved, okay, of course in dead condition, and insects will be pinned and then stored in insect boxes. And in case of reptiles, bigger animals, we need to remove the skin, and then they will be stuffed with okay, materials like cotton, and some other preservatives will be added onto the skin, so that the skin doesn't undergo decomposition and remains almost right, right, in a fresh condition for a very long time. Okay, so that's about museums. The next the next taxonomical aids is geological parks. Okay, so here the geological parks will contain right, the animals, the live animals in the natural and of course in protected conditions. So here geological parks contain live animals in natural and protected environments. Okay, right. And these geological parks, of course, will be a large area, so usually in acres, like in case of botanical gardens. There we have seen plants, and here in this case of geological parks we'll see only animals, right? And of course in the natural conditions here. Now these geological parks are good places to study the behavior and the food habits of animals. So help to study the behavior of animals and the food habits of animals. Help to study behavior and food habits of animals. And then, okay, so they also help in conserving the endangered animals. So zoos, so of course in short we call these as zoos. So these geological parks will help in conserving endangered endangered animals. So nowadays there are many animals that are becoming endangered, means whose populations have come down, right? So it means that population became very less, and we can bring those animals, and then in a protected environment we will try to increase their populations. So that is help in conserving endangered animals here, right? So different people like to visit these geological parks, which help them to understand, so especially like these behaviors or okay of animals, how they look like. For scientists, actually they help the studying their behavior and different other properties of animals. And lastly, we will see about keys. Okay, so these keys are analytical in nature, and they help in identification of okay, unknown plant or animal. So help in identification of plant or animal. So here these keys will be having right contrasting characters, and those contrasting characters are called couplet. And the each statement in couplet is a lead. So each statement in a couplet is a lead. Okay, so I'll just show you how the keys are. Right, so here I have shown you a key. So in this, right, these are two contrasting characters, and these two contrasting characters is called a couplet. And I told that each couplet will have a statement, and that is a lead. So this, so legs present, so this is a lead. Okay, so now you can see here in a couplet, legs are present, legs are absent. So that those are contrasting characters, and based on that, okay, you need to go. If you see on that animal there are legs present, then go to step 2. So whether you need to see whether wings are present. So if wings are present, then go to step 3. So here, so in this way, you need to at one point you need to eliminate, okay, one of the lead in a couplet, and then go on and finally finalizing, and I mean identifying what the organism is, right? So in these two statements here we have selected legs are present, so legs are not present, so this statement we are going to reject. So out of, okay, two leads, one lead we are going to select and the other lead we are going to reject by looking at the features of the organism that you hold. So whatever that organism you have with, okay, the plant or animal. So here I have taken an example for identifying, okay, like some insects like houseflies and so. So here in this case we have seen with the different characters. And finally, so leaves in hollow trees, chimneys and some similar structures. If it is the case, then it is a hornet. And if it lives wherever there is a food, then it can be a housefly. So like this, there are keys. So these keys are artificial, okay, analytical analytical devices which help in identifying of right, unknown plant or animals. And the most commonly used key is a dichotomous key. So dichotomous key. So what I have used here is a dichotomous key. So there is a classification of these keys, okay, types of keys. I am not going to discuss about all those types of keys. Just know that which whatever I have discussed, this is a one type under that dichotomous key, right? So this is how the keys will help in identifying unknown plant or animals. Okay, so the next we'll see about some recording descriptions, means the books in which they record, okay, and keep them, I mean preserve them. So there are some recording descriptions. So these recording descriptions will include, okay, flora, then manuals, okay, then monographs, and okay, catalogs. So these are, okay, recording descriptions, flora, manuals, okay, monographs, and those catalogs. So here, coming to this flora, so flora will help to give information about right, habitat and distribution. So help to give information on habitat and distribution of plants in a given area. So help in, okay, giving information on habitat, means habitat we know the location where it is present, and distribution, So in which locations they are distributed, in tropical, subtropical, okay, or in temperate regions, or in which locations, in which countries you find, in which areas you find. So that is distribution. So all that will be included in the flora. So the flora is actually a book. So all these are books: flora, manuals, monographs, and catalogs. They are all books. And okay, some people who know about those, distribution and habitat of okay, a particular area, they will be writing. Okay, so that is about flora. Fauna will be about animals, right? And coming to manuals, so these manuals will contain information, okay, for identification of names of species. So this will have information for identification of names of species of a area. Okay, so that will contain the information for identification. So all those names of different species present in that area, so that will be kept in, that information is kept in a book, and it's called manual. So it contains information for identification of names of right species in a particular area here. Okay, then coming to monographs, so these monographs will contain publication. So it's a publication actually that contain, okay, information only on any one taxon. So this has information only on any one taxon, right? So only one taxon they will be having, like a genus. So they are going to discuss about that genus, or they are going to discuss about family. So a particular family, okay, Canidae. So that includes dogs. So all that, only particular taxon they are going to take and write all that information about that particular taxon. So that is again a book here. Okay, of course it's a publication. So here flora, manuals, monographs, I told you all these are in written form. So okay, on a paper, and they will be preserved, right? The next coming to catalogs. So coming to these catalogs, so this will contain, okay, a list of systematically arranged plants and animals. So this will contain information on systematically, okay, list of plants and animals of a particular area. So contains, okay, list of plants and animals of a particular area. Okay, that may have some brief description and will help in identification. So it also has brief description. So it also means about that plant or animal, there is little information they will be giving in this book, and that brief description. So this brief description helps in, so it helps in identification. So these are all the recording descriptions, the flora, manuals, monographs, and catalogs.